Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop. And the PG line from Nike was absolutely amazing, but I guess they discontinued it, you know what I mean? So Paul George said he signed with Nike to have 6 signature shoes, and they gave him 6 signature shoes, so there you go, you know what I mean? And Nike has a lot of other signature shoe lines, you know, Sabrina's, the Jaws, the Books, you know what I mean? So kind of sad because PG shoe line was iconic. It was absolutely amazing, amazingly priced, and also they were amazing performers as far as like the tech and like upper goes, like them upper quality. It wasn't the best, but performance wise they were absolutely amazing. So of course Paul George, the PG one, it was unveiled August of 2016 in London. You guys remember the actual leaked images? And then the actual official images were like, whoa, this shoe looks absolutely amazing. But the PG one was released on March 3rd of 2017 in the shiny colorway, which is right over here. I love this colorway. You guys remember the shiny colorway? You guys remember the numbers here? Wow, this shoe looks absolutely amazing. I'm so lucky to have this colorway, but also we had a little bit more of a wider release with the bait colorway, I believe it was. And the PG1, as far as the design goes, was inspired by Paul George's favorite casual shoe, the SB Janowski, and also the traction was inspired by fish scales, because I don't know if you guys didn't know, Paul George loves to fish apparently. So that's pretty cool as far as the overall design goes. We had this one booty construction design, right? So this shoe was extremely hard to put on, especially once you first got it. It's still really hard to put on. But yeah, this shoe was really nice performer. So in the shiny colorway, this traction, I definitely did need a break in. It wasn't amazing, but once I broke it in, it got really good, right? But the solid rubber outsoles were really nice. We also had this bottom loaded zoom unit, which isn't super bouncy, you know? I don't know why, but the PG1 and 2 weren't bouncy, but the PG3 was a little bit bouncier for the forefoot zoom unit for me for some reason. But yeah, also the Phylon, super duper stiff. We have the crappy mesh here in the forefoot, but we have this really nice kind of like forefoot strap. You guys remember this strap as well? So it's hooked with Flywire. So we have Flywire right here connected to the actual strap, and also Flywire right over here, right? So the Flywire on the strap goes through another set of cables, and the Flywire connected to the strap goes underneath the upper or across the kind of like forefoot area on top of the shoe. And when you tighten it, you definitely, you guys look at this, you guys see that, right? So this strap was absolutely amazing, and it was just a really nice overall shoe. It retailed for 110 bucks as well, which is a great price. So yeah, the PG1 was amazing, and some of my favorite colorways were the EYBL colorway, the shining colorway, of course, right? We got the Volt colorway, which I really liked. The PK80, you guys remember that? I believe it was Phil Knight, the Phil Knight colorway. And of course, my ID, which I really like as well. And moving on to the PG2. So the PG2 was released February 10th of 2018 in limited PlayStation colorway. You guys remember that, for 110 bucks. And then of course the PG2 All-Star colorway was released February 15th, and it was a little bit more widely available as a general release colorway. So of course the PG2 had a crazy traction pattern, very thin lines, but of course we have this kind of outline of the forefoot zoom unit. You guys can see it's pretty much identical to the PG1 cushioning setup. It wasn't super nice. And also we have this kind of like textile material, which is a little bit more like better quality than the PG1, you know? And also we had these wings, right? So these support wings on the lateral and medial side, the laces go through it, and once you tighten the laces, it kind of tightens over your forefoot a little bit more. But yeah, all these shoes are pretty dang light, minimal, and responsive, right? And of course the PG 2.5, if you guys remember the PG 2.5, it was the 0.5 version of the PGs, and PGs never had elites, sadly. PG never had elite versions of this shoe. And also Kyrie's never had elites, which makes me kind of sad, you know what I mean? But also PG never really had like other shoe lines. You know, Kyrie, he had his signature shoe line, the lows, and also the fly traps. PG never had any other versions. He never even had like a budget line, but his shoes were kind of budget anyways as far as the price goes. But yeah, we have the PG 2.5. This is the Fortnite colorway, I believe, and we have a strap which I think is way better than this wing support wing here in the PG2, right? So as far as how it worked, is pretty much the exact same principle as the PG1 strap, but the PG1 has Flywire, but the 2.5, it has straps, right? So as you guys can see, we have these straps that go across the top of your forefoot, and once you tighten it, it really tightens on your forefoot. Look at that, you know what I mean? And then you have this Velcro as well. So that really improved the lockdown here in the forefoot. But yeah, as far as the traction goes, you needed to break it in. But once you broke it in, it got pretty dang good. Cushion was really cushion was not great though. You know what I mean? Once we get into the later shoes, it does get a lot better. But the PG1, PG2, and also the 2.5 were not great for cushion. But yeah, the PG 2.5 released June 30th of 2018, so it took them like what, 4 months to release this, which is pretty cool, I guess. But as far as my favorite colorways go, I really like the darker PlayStation one. You guys remember that? I never got my hands on that. But yeah, next shoe we got, of course, the PG3, right? So the PG3 is right over here and released January 26th of 2018 in the NASA colorway for 120 bucks. If you guys remember that. I did a dismantling of that, so I don't have that shoe anymore. But yeah, that was more of a limited release. And then the PG3 black and white colorway with a translucent outsole came out February 18th of 2019, right? But yeah, as far as the outsole goes, we have circles. And the circle pattern was inspired by the moon's craters, which is pretty dang cool. And just like in the PG2, you guys remember the PG2, the dynamic wing support system thing is kind of like pretty much the exact same. You know what I mean? It's a different material, but it's very, very similar in how it functions. We have a textile mesh type of material. But yeah, this shoe is extremely light. It comes in at 11.25 ounces, but the PG1, PG2 were around 12.2 ounces. So this shoe is extremely light. Traction was absolutely amazing. It's better than the PG1 and 2. Also, like I said, the forefoot zoom unit was a little bit easier to feel. And here in the heel, it was actually kind of soft. There was a little bit more compression than the PG1 and 2. So I did like the PG3 better than the PG1 and 2. And as far as my favorite colorways go, my favorite colorway is the NASA 50th edition silver. Remember the silver colorway? That shoe is absolutely amazing. I also really like the EYBL colorway of the PG. The PG3 had some really, really nice colorways, right? So there's that. Next shoe, we got my least favorite looking shoe in his entire shoe line, which is the PG4. It looks like a literal water shoe. You know what I mean? So the PG4 released January 17th of 2020. Yeah, 2020, like when you say 2020, it doesn't seem that long ago, but that was like 4 years ago, you guys. That's crazy. You know what I mean? But anyways, so the first colorway to release was the Gatorade colorways. You guys remember that for 120 bucks? It was pretty limited as far as the release goes. And then the black and white colorway with the translucent also came out a little bit later on January 24th, right? But yeah, this is the first shoe in his entire shoe line with actually pretty nice cushion. So this has a full length air strobe unit, which was really, really comfortable. I really like the setup here. And also we had a good amount of compression here in the heel too. So it was actually kind of soft. The upper, of course, we have this shroud thing. So we have this zipper, and it was supposed to be more for style. So you're supposed to play with it unzipped. But it's also like a one booty construction as well. And I really like the overall performance of this shoe. Besides, there's two things. The support wasn't great, you know what I mean? It did move around a little bit. For lateral containment, it wasn't the best. And also the traction wasn't amazing either, right? The PG1, 2, and 3 are way better than the PG4. And once you break in the PG4, it does get pretty good, but it's definitely not as good as the PG1, 2, and 3. So yeah, the PG4, I would say, is probably one of my least favorites as far as performance goes because of the lackluster traction, but it's definitely one of my favorites for comfortability. Just like walking around is super duper comfortable, right? But as far as the colorways go, I would say, you know, my favorite colorways of the PG4 were like the Gatorade colorways, but the PG4 I feel like didn't have great releases for the colorways, right? And next, of course, we got the PG5. So the PG5 is the lightest shoe in his entire shoe line. So it comes in at 10.65 ounces, which is insane. Like most of his shoes are around 12.2 ounces around there, and the lighter shoes are around 11.5 ounces. But this shoe, the PG5, comes in at 10.65, which is kind of insane, you know? So it released January 21st of 2021 in this colorway for 110 bucks. They actually reduced the price, but this shoe also has the same exact full length air strobe unit, which is very, very nice, right? There's also a little bit of compression here in the heel from the actual foam, and this material is just so bad for quality. It's just so thin, and the durability of this shoe was absolutely terrible, right? This upper was not great, and also the traction. Look at this. You can see all the tearing off of the actual grooves, which wasn't amazing. But yeah, the overall performance was pretty good. You know what I mean? The traction was really, really nice on an indoor court. The full length Air Strobo unit was nice. Low to the ground impact protection was good, comfortable. The upper was super thin. Not the best for support, but you have the necessary lateral counters and all that. So overall, pretty dang nice for performance. Looks wise, not my favorite. And as far as the colorways go, also, I didn't really have any colorways that I liked all too much for the PG5. And yeah, definitely not my favorite as far as the aesthetics go. The PG5 and the PG4 are definitely down there as far as aesthetics go. You know what I mean? And of course, we got the legendary Nike PG6. Guys, look at this shoe. This shoe is absolutely amazing. Aesthetically, it looks great, and also performance wise, it was absolutely amazing, right? So the PG6 released April 22nd of 2022 for 110 bucks in the All-Star colorway. But yeah, the PG6, as far as the weight goes, is around average weight, but this shoe is one of my favorite shoes in his entire shoe line for performance, right? So traction, amazing. One of the best outsoles in his entire shoe line. I guess it's comparable to the PG3. Really, really nice traction. Also, the cushion is super duper nice. We have full length React. It's super comfortable. Underfoot cushion, obviously it's not as nice as the PG4 and also the PG5, but it's still pretty dang nice. We have nice compression and bounce from the heel. The textile material is also really nice, you know what I mean? It's one of the nicest materials in his entire shoe line. It's thin, it's comfortable, it's also pretty dang supportive, it's very plush in the ankle area and tongue. And as far as my favorite colorways go for the PG6, I love the mint colorway, and also I really like the colorway that I have. But yeah, as far as, okay, let's go over aesthetics. Definitely my favorite in his entire shoe line for aesthetics is easily the PG1. The PG1 is such a great design. I love how the shoe looks. And then second, a tie for second, I would say either the PG6, because I really like how this shoe looks, and also the PG2, right? Amazing looking shoes, especially with the reverse swoosh. But yeah, the 4, oh my gosh, the 4 and the 5 are terrible looking, you know? And as far as like my favorite performance wise, I would definitely say the PG6 is my favorite. PG6 is top, number 1. And then I would say the PG3. And then I would say the PG1 and 2 are tight. You know, they perform very similarly. So yeah, PG's line, looking back on it, I'm super duper sad. I don't think they're gonna continue it. Maybe Paul George is still signed with Nike because he still wears Nike shoes, especially like his older shoes, like the PG1. But they're probably not gonna give him signature shoes. He's probably just signed to them just to wear Nikes, but not for actually giving him a signature shoe, which makes me pretty dang sad. But you know, I feel like Jaws line kind of replaced PG's line a little bit. You know, cheaper shoes with like, you know, 4-foot zoom unit. But anyways, tell us what your favorite shoe is down in the comment section below, like performance wise and also aesthetically. You can give us your list down in the comment section below. But that about wraps up this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.